This is the Horsepower Hour.
Yes, hello and welcome once again to the Horsepower Hour, the speediest and thriftiest podcast on the face of the known planet. Did you know that, Coy?
I knew that.
Joining me as always is F. Coy Forticus and Masterson Jr. Senior Esquire Duke of Earl Grey. What did you think, man? Your buddy from college, Elon, he was on Saturday Night Live the other night.
He did a great job. I loved it.
I thought he did an absolute shit job, but hey, you know what it is? It's not even Elon's fault. It honestly is just Saturday Night Live. It's so garbage these days.
Well, yeah.
No rebuttal for that, huh?
Hey, when you're the Doge father,
the Doge father, yeah,
Doge father, you can do what you want.
Is it Doge? I don't know.
I'm not really. It's a meme coin.
All I know is I've got a bunch of friends that are like, to the moon,
and I'm like, how much did you buy? And they're like, $8 worth. Okay, so it goes to the moon and you get $600 out of, like, what are you gonna do? You go buy a Power Wheel? Like,
I don't, let people enjoy things,
yeah.
Coy. That's the way I feel about it.
I can finally afford a hover round.
Aaron Samuelson is joining the live show. Hey boys, he also says, Coy, is the trailer sold yet?
No, I have 10,000 tire kickers, but nobody's actually come to look at it.
That's the way she rolls.
I figured any M416 military trailer under $1,000 was gonna sell immediately, but apparently I'm too far away from tax return season.
Well, it's how I figure my funeral's gonna go. There are gonna be a lot of people there just to make sure that I'm dead, but not a lot of people there mourning me, if you get me.
Yeah, no, I see what you're saying.
Yeah, they want to get their money's worth out of the show.
Yeah, a lot of people pulling up, looking in the casket.
Yep.
One quick stab,
Checking my pockets.
Yeah.
Well, we want to thank Aaron for joining the live podcast. If you guys want to come and check out the live stream, it's every Sunday at 8 p.m. over on Facebook, Twitch, and YouTube. Just search for the Horsepower Hour. Want to thank you up front for doing that. We want to thank you for telling a friend about the show. It really is what keeps us going. We've been tossing some fun ideas back and forth. Coy had a fantastic idea last week, and we're finally going to be able to do it here on the show today. So look forward to a brand new segment. We don't even have music for it yet, Coy.
Not yet. We're working on it, though. We have ideas. If you have ideas, once you hear the segment, if you have ideas for our music, go ahead and let us know.
Yeah, for sure. We have thoughts, but it's going to be a fun new segment. I'm pretty excited about it. This has been a kind of a slow week for news, but we've got a few really interesting things. As a matter of fact, I wanted to just do a quick little update about the bum rush, the BR2K.
Yeah. This
is more of a PSA. All right.
Okay.
I don't have the article pulled up to show you here on the show. It will be posted in our Facebook group. Just facebook.com/group/the Horsepower Hour podcast. Please come and check that group out because it's a great time. There's lots of like-minded people over there you can be able to talk to. Garrett Bickle, our friend Garrett, who we know and love.
Yes.
He sent me this article of this guy that was doing basically like a race build on a Predator motor. Okay. Now, I didn't realize this, but 6.5 horsepower, 5.5 horsepower, they come in a lot of different shapes and sizes. Honda, I believe their 5.5 horsepower is the GX 160, so it's 160 cc. Briggs & Stratton and Tecumseh, they do 196. Predator does 212. I never really put that much thought into it. I just assumed, hey, it's a Chinese motor. They need to make it a little bigger to get the same amount of horsepower out of it, right? Well, it turns out that this thing is a little bit of a big block for that class of engine, the 6.5 horsepower, air quotes, 6.5 horsepower.
Yeah.
This dude bought brand new box stock Predator. Okay. First thing he does, he pops it open. He removes the governor. Obviously.
Duh.
That's what we're all going to do. But then he jumps into the factory carburetor that was on it. Okay. And he just adds jets that are just 1 or 2 sizes larger than what's in it, because this fella has discovered that to make emission standards, they run extraordinarily lean. I had no idea how lean. It's actually so lean that it affects the longevity of the motor. Okay. So he changed some jets out, the jets that were like 0.007, he changed out for 0.009. The jets that were 0.014, he changed out for 0.020. I mean, not huge changes, right?
Yeah.
They throw this thing on a small engine dyno It makes 9 horsepower at 4,200 RPM.
To be fair, what would the governor have held this engine at? How many RPM?
3,600.
Okay.
32, 36, something like that.
So does it just, it's self-governed, just get valve float at 42 then, or?
It valve floated, let me see here. I think it valve floated at like 4,800 RPM.
Okay.
Or 5,000 RPM. So they did, I mean, in the article, they went on to change all of that and started running it up to 5,600 RPM, you know. And of course, you got to change a lot of different things. That muffler's got to go. The air cleaner's got to go. At that point, you probably want to consider a different carburetor in and of itself, right? But they just wanted to show people, hey, this thing makes a lot more horsepower than you think. And by the way, the horsepower wasn't just the only thing. I think it made like 11 foot-pounds of torque.
Wow.
Yeah, literally just changing the jetting and removing the governor. So that's something just to kind of keep in the back of your mind. If you are starting with a brand new motor for your BR2K shopping cart build, there are a few very simple modifications that you might want to consider doing just to give yourself a little bit of that edge. Coy, I'm a fat man, okay? Yeah, it's obvious. We can see it. I need that extra horsepower.
When it comes to carts, you know, this is something we actually talked about is you take the heaviest guy in your class and you even out all the carts.
Yes.
By just filling them full of trash, though. You know.
Well, yeah, in this case,
like
it's going to be dirty
bottles
diapers. And yeah.
So everybody, you know, had the same weight, and it would be on you to, you know, get that horsepower edge.
Yes.
Because if somebody rolls in at 128 pounds and they've done this stuff to the motor, there's so much, you know, that power to weight ratio is so much faster.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, there's still talks on the actual rules of this, which we need to put a pinned post on the horsepower hour for people to like get in on the specs and the rules.
I agree
to do that.
It's time. We've got about 12 people that are signed up right now to do it. I personally know 12 people who have shopping carts and they're like, all right, we're starting this build.
Yeah, it's good. I mean, if we don't get the rules set now, I mean, it's too late. Once they've escaped, they're building how they're built, you know?
Right. Exactly. And you know, hey, we're trying to keep it open. If people want to use a moped motor, if they want to use a mini bike rear end, that sort of thing. Like at first we were thinking it'd be a spec race.
Mm-hmm.
The problem with that is I hadn't really realized how expensive the motor. Hey, that's $100. That's not a big deal. Right. But then once you start getting into the wheel, the hub, the bearings, all that stuff, that gets expensive. Yeah. And I was looking at like a $400 shopping cart build, not really into it for $400. That's why we decided to just open it up and say, hey, if you have a motor you want to use or a drivetrain you want to use, like use whatever you want. The only rule we're going to hold you to is that it needs to be single wheel drive. That's it.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's going to work.
I am fully expecting someone to roll in with a twin cylinder Polaris motor. I just, you know, it's going to happen.
I am too, but I fully expect them to like jump the berm. You know what I mean?
Sure.
I had an idea, you know, we were talking about it being, you know, powered by one wheel. Now, if I could find like a wrecked, like the Coleman style mini bikes, and you know, is messed up, people want same price as new for those. I don't understand why.
Sometimes more. If it has Gambler 500 stickers on it, they're way more.
But if I took one of those and just took the front forks and hooked it to the back of a cart, and then removed the handlebars, and then I sat kind of sport bike position on the bike, but then put the controls on the shopping cart handle. So I'm kind of squatted behind it, like I'm pushing it really hard.
Right.
And then, you know, it articulated in the middle, basically, but I'd be riding on the back. I thought that might be a good workaround. That might work good.
That's a good workaround. I like that.
I kind of have like a half sitting position. I'm braced, you know. I'm going to have weight on the rear tire.
You are going to have to flip the motor around though, because at that point it's going to be running in reverse, right?
No, I'm going to be behind the cart. The front forks will basically be welded to the back of the shopping cart.
Oh, I see. So the motor's not going to be in the shopping cart.
No. I'm leaving the mini bike 90% whole.
Gotcha.
I'm welding. I'm just, instead of a front tire, there's a shopping cart welded there.
Yeah. I don't know. That kind of goes against the spirit with which the event's intended, in my opinion.
That's why I'm saying then I just stand up on the pegs.
I know. I don't know. We're going to have to work that out. See, I had envisioned the power plant being in the shopping cart.
Well, I originally did too, but then I thought of it this way. Because it's hard. The standing up behind it part is hard. And then I'm like, oh, this is how I could do it and stand up.
But that's part of the reason why we want people to stand up. That's part of the reason why I wanted that whole tiller steering thing in the back. It's a self-limiting part of this.
That's true. That's true.
I don't know. If we go too hog wild with this, I'm just going to run out and buy like a wrecked 600cc CBR and just weld a shopping cart to the front.
I would say you just stop right now and do that. Like, I don't know why you wouldn't.
All right, fair enough.
I mean, can you imagine you're ripping a wheelie with a full shopping cart in the air, trash falling out on you? You know?
Yeah. I wonder what they'd say if I took it to PIR or Woodburn.
Like, I am fully on board if somebody wants to just cut a slot in the center of a cart and slide it over the front of like a YZ 450. You know,
Yeah.
a YZF 450 4-stroke race bike, and just slide a shopping cart in the front of it.
It would still get hairy because you're not going to be able to lean this thing over too much.
No, it's going to be super dangerous.
Yeah.
And they're probably going to wreck hard because they're going super fast. Like, actually, it's in their best interest to keep the front tire off the ground, or the shopping cart off the ground, I should say.
Right. But how much are you going to be able to keep that shopping cart off of the ground? I mean, you need to. Anyways, there's some serious logistical issues that we need to go through with this.
I agree.
But it's still on. I have my shopping carts.
I haven't bought a shopping cart yet.
Bought. That's funny.
Well.
That's cute, Coy.
Air quotes. Bought.
You've not yet procured.
I have not yet found.
Yes. Not yet acquired.
Yeah. Allegedly.
We've been doing a little talk about, buttons or pins, achievements for the members of the Horsepower Hour. And that probably is going to have to be an achievement unlocked pin.
Oh, achievement unlocked.
Shopping cart.
BR2K.
Mm-hmm.
BR2K founder.
Ooh. And then after the race, we're going to have BR2K veterans.
Survivor.
Survivor. Yeah. I like that.
It's like, you didn't just live through rape. You survived it.
Oh, Coy.
Like that with BR2K. You didn't just live through the race. You survived it. It's a horrible, horrible thing.
Look, man, we need to move on because I have to share this around, do some posting and stuff. So I want you to talk about this first article that you found for us. We're going to move on to the news.
Lotus is open and talking to people about selling the tooling for the Elise sports car.
So that doesn't exactly mean they're doing it. It doesn't mean that anybody's picked it up yet, but it means that they're open to the idea.
They're open to the idea. There may or may not have been talked with, I'm not even sure how to say it, Carmen, the guys that build the Lotus 7 kits, which they originally did buy from Lotus, the tooling. So it's not like this hasn't been done before. So they're stopping building the Elise, the Exige, and the Evora.
Yeah. So all of those are off the table now.
They're all gone. They're bringing out a new one. I can't remember the name.
Yeah, they have 3 new models. I forget what they're called now.
I know nothing about those. I need to do some research. I'm hoping they will be as awesome as Lotus always is, but we'll see. Anyways, yeah, they're in talks about selling that. Several companies are kind of considering it. So how awesome would it be if Lotus 7s were kit cars, much like the Factory 5s, Lotus 7s, and what's the other, the Miata? It's a Lotus 7, but
Elan.
Is that what it is?
It's a Lotus 7, but a Miata?
It's
a
a Lotus
low cost 7?
Yes, low cost 7. So, I mean, how cool would it be to get some of this tooling in? And generally, when they buy the tooling like this, they actually get a little lighter and stuff because they are a kit car. So the safety standards are much lowered. And the kit car versions of these are lighter than the originals.
Oh, really?
I mean, well, think about like the Cobras, Factory 5s or whatever you call them. Those are lighter than the originals because they're fiberglass. I'm just saying, this is a real possibility that we have a Lotus Elise that looks just like an original that weighs hundreds of pounds less, possibly. It's a thing.
I mean, these have titles too, right? Because they're titled as a kit car.
Yeah, absolutely. Just like all the kit cars.
Do you remember the days when if you wanted to build a kit car, you would need to go to like a junkyard and get a dashboard with a VIN plate or something?
All kit cars were Volkswagen Bugs.
Right.
without fail.
Well, there were a few that were Dodge Caravans as well.
There were a few, but I mean, for the most part, they
Mhm.
were Volkswagen Bugs.
Because the Volkswagen Bug had already been established as something that could be creator built into a kit car.
Yes, a cop wouldn't pull it over and be like Volkswagen Bug, and he'd be like a kit car, and he'd scream liar and tackle you. He'd be like, "Oh, okay," you know,
Right.
That was
Oh, it's got a Volkswagen pan or whatever.
Yeah, it's got something Volkswagen steering wheel in it and that dashboard. No, I'm stoked, and like it makes me want one more to build your own Lotus, Elise, or Exige. I mean, an Exige is out of my budget for sure. But if I could build one for 20 grand and I could put a 2GR in it as I built it, you know, V6 powered Exige, I could pick the colors, you know.
2GR is the 3.5 liter.
Yes, 3.5 liter. It's the Evora motor.
Yeah. Good enough for the Evora.
Yeah, exactly. It's even better for the lighter version.
Well, yeah, and even better still for the MR2.
Well, hopefully someday. We'll see.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, I think this is super awesome.
This is pretty legit, dude. I'm not going to lie. If somebody ends up buying the tooling for these and makes them in a kit form, yes.
And the spec racing versions of these, I'm sure, will explode if there's a kit form of this.
Oh, yeah, because why wouldn't they, right?
Also, I'm guessing it's going to drive the prices of the ones that are on the market already down even further, which good, yay, you know.
Are those really holding their value all that well?
I mean, they actually are doing better than they were. So, I mean, a couple years ago when they were still making them wholesale, they weren't holding their value that well. Now that they don't really make them anymore, they're holding their value a little better. But yeah, I think they're holding their value okay considering what they are.
I feel like I still see Elises come up for sale, like 10s, 11s, and they'll go for $24,000, which I mean, that's a lot, but it's not.
You can find an Elise in the $20,000 range. Absolutely. But that's, you won't, I've never seen one under 20.
What are S2000s up to now?
There's a wide range kind of just because of condition, but they're mid-teens, you know,
mid-teens,
14, I'd say 13 to 15,000 is probably standard. You see real high mileage versions for as low as 8, 7.
Okay.
Salvage titles, even, you know, even lower sometimes. You see really nice versions for high 20s, low 30s. So it's, you know, they are kind of competing in that S2000 range if you're looking for a nice S2000.
That's interesting because if you had, I don't know, like an already raced, so not in like super perfect condition, but an S2000 CR, if you were looking for something like that, but then you also start running across some of these Elises.
Just to throw it out there, CRs are holding their value extremely well. Since they're, I mean, think of Integra Type Rs. So the CRs, yeah, I wouldn't even.
It's not in the same ballpark.
I don't know. I haven't seen one less than 20 ever.
That's the funniest thing to me because you're thinking about
literally almost no difference.
Right. It's this special edition of a Honda S2000. And the S2000s, don't get me wrong, they're awesome. S2000s, hands down, awesome car. But like when the S2000 was being built alongside the Lotus Elise, I would never think, oh, the S2000 is going to have the same value as the Elise or possibly more.
Oh, no, absolutely. What blows my mind is it's a CR. So it's like the springs are like 30 pounds heavier, which is in a stock. I mean, when you're looking at stock suspension, that's nothing because I'm going to change it anyways. They have the internals of the muffler is different. They have some like foam in the subframe. Like the modifications, the difference performance in the CR is so little. Like it's more, it's performance. It almost feels aesthetic. The performance is so little. You know what I mean? Obviously there is some aesthetic differences, but it is sadly just nothing.
Quickly, Chef Kevin is joining the chat. Sriracha, because I'm wearing a Sriracha shirt. You got it, buddy. That's because I'm feeling spicy tonight, dude. And part of the reason why I'm feeling spicy is this new news from Rivian. You know, the Rivian EV truck and SUV?
Yes, it's the best looking truck EV I've seen so far.
So they have started delivering these, and man, they are going whole hog in trying to get these into the hands of people, get a brand awareness built. I mean, they've got some really, I have to say, impressive stuff going on with these. In this article from Car and Driver, they talk about the EV maker is looking to hire 1,500 people or more including event team workers. And here's an interesting thing, Coy. What do these book at? Like 150,000 is where they start, right?
Yeah, they're
It's something like that.
Not cheap at all.
Well, if you have a Rivian SUV or truck, the R1S or the R1T, they are reportedly talking about a $1,000 per month incentive if you own your own car and you come on board as one of these employees for outreach.
I mean, I like that, but if you only work at this company for 2 years,
Mhm.
you've gotten $22,000 towards
Mhm.
your vehicle. So now you only owe $136,000.
Yeah.
Or whatever, you know. So it sounds better than it is a little bit. Now, if you can live in this while you're doing this, and that covers your rent and your payment, and you can work there 4 or 5 years, yeah, you know, van life, baby.
Okay, so what if you went all in? You got a Rivian, one of the R1Ts, and you got the biggest RV within your budget. So we're talking maybe like $200 a month. So here's how it breaks down. You've now got the $600, $700 a month Rivian truck payment, right? You've also got a $300 a month trailer. Now there's your $1,000, but essentially you're driving and you're living for free-ish, kind of, sorta.
Yeah. I would do it a little differently. I would get the SUV, you know, I would kit it out with my overland stuff.
Oh yeah.
I would rooftop the tent or just like basic overland trailer it. Great pictures and whatnot. So the company's going to love me even more for that. I'm less likely to get fired if I'm bringing in pictures of me in the Mojave Desert with this thing. Also, you know, my $1,000 just goes towards the payment. You know, if I can initially afford the rooftop tent and the kit.
Sure, but now you're building your own brand alongside.
Yeah.
You know, you
My
have them
Instagram
tag you up
channel,
and everything. Yeah. You're starting to lose weight. You're going to the gym. You're getting fit, right?
I get a girlfriend that does yoga poses.
Oh yeah.
You know,
and so you guys start your own OnlyFans, huh?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ripped out Rivian.
Ooh, yeah. Yeah.
Ribbed Rivian.
Yeah, no, I've got a few ways I can go with that, but it's not really coming together. I was going to say Rivian boner, but it's just not.
Watch this Rivian get wrecked.
Yeah. Watch this hot Rivian get wrecked from behind.
Hot Rivian gets wrecked so hard it short circuits.
Another cool thing that they're doing, they can buy car insurance directly from Rivian. I think that's actually pretty legit.
That could be really cool. Now that the more I think about, well, why wouldn't the car company be able to give you the best insurance price? Like, especially if you can take it to the Rivian dealer to get repaired if it got wrecked, like why wouldn't they? They make the parts, you know what I mean? Like,
right.
They could get such a massive cut in the actual fixing of it. I know, like in Oregon, you can take it wherever you want to get fixed and your insurance still has to pay. But who doesn't want to take it to the dealers, you know, the dealer's auto body place where they're going to put on legit OEM parts?
And most of the time people don't do that because it's going to be too expensive. However, if they've got kind of the corner on this market, it's like Tesla cars. You know, I don't think they're any cheaper to get fixed somewhere else.
Oh, if they can be.
If they can be, exactly. One last very cool thing that they're announcing is a 175,000 mile warranty, Coy. Yeah, that's kind of putting your money where your mouth is. I'm actually quite impressed with Rivian for doing that. I don't know how much a warranty like that's going to cost, if it's going to cost something extra. Where do you land on that? If you're paying $1.25 for a vehicle, do you feel like it should have are you not going to balk at the 175,000 mile? Because, you know, my wife's Hyundai, her Elantra, it's got a 100,000 mile drivetrain warranty, and then it's got a 60,000 mile everything else kind of a warranty. But that's one of the best new vehicle warranties in the United States on a $20,000 vehicle.
Here's what I need to know. is that warranty transferable, or is it only the original buyer?
So,
like, say you buy a Toyota.
Yeah.
I believe, like Toyota trucks, 36,000 mile bumper to bumper, and then 50. I don't know. It's 3 years, 36,000 miles, something like that. It's not super impressive, but you own it a year and then you sell it. Then the next guy still enjoys that warranty.
Sure.
170,075. It could be bought and sold 3 times.
Mm-hmm.
And so if that's the warranty, then I am insanely impressed.
Mm-hmm.
If that is only for the original buyer, then that means nothing to me. My wife bought a Prius, and the dealer we bought it at, on top of the standard Toyota, I think it's 100,000 miles for Priuses. Prius-i,
yeah.
They put their own 200,000 mile warranty on it, 20-year, 200,000 miles. So mind blown, right? But they're like, nobody keeps it over 100,000 miles anyways. We hardly ever use these. So it sounds great,
but it's not transferable.
It's non-transferable, so it means nothing. And since it's and you could only take it to that Toyota dealer, so I'd have to drive back to the original place. So it sounded really good, but once you kind of said it, it was like, well, if you're one of those people that does keep the car for 15, 20 years, then amazing. If not, it means nothing.
Right.
So that's where I'm at. And
I have to admit, not many of these are, one, going to get driven around all that much, and two, driven that kind of mileage. I don't see Jeff Bezos putting 175,000 miles on his Rivian. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That's only, that's less than $1 a mile.
Less than $1 a mile.
Well, I mean, it's 175,000 mile warranty, and it's 150 grand. Yeah. So, for $1 a mile, you have a fully warranted electric vehicle.
Yeah, I mean, that's not bad.
I mean, if you think about it that way.
Wow, look at Coy dropping the frugal bombs.
Yeah, it's actually in your best interest to buy one of these. It's cheap.
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
Save you money.
Just get rid of your house. You got children? You have children, right, Coy?
Yeah.
Sell them. Buy the Rivian.
A lot of money for them. Yeah.
Oh yeah, maybe not in the United States, but other places for sure.
Out of overseas for sure.
Yeah. I hear Hong Kong, the children market is really, really good.
Yeah, you got it. Depends on if they're a negative O blood type, then just sky is the limit.
Yeah, exactly. You're married, you have a wife.
Yeah.
Sell her.
Yeah.
So cars are all gone. You've sold those. Your house is gone.
Women and children sold.
Yes, not given up on. You're not an animal.
No, I sold them for profit.
Yes, exactly. You're not a deadbeat dad.
I'm a businessman. It's completely different.
It's completely, totally different. Yeah.
I'm patriotic. I'm actually looked up to. I am the American dream.
And then you take all that money that you have now gained because you're a smart businessman.
Yeah.
And then you buy one of these Rivians and you just tour the country, nay, the world.
That's how you make a deal. Art of the deal, one might say.
I got another deal here for you. This one comes from PD Fleet Services, and PD Fleet Services, they're not local. They do some really cool stuff. They're out of Pennsylvania, and I never would have really thought that I'd be talking about a company like this. I mean, don't get me wrong. They do some very cool things. They do some custom campers for trucks, like semi trucks. They do some very cool camper conversions with fifth wheel attachments on them, on buses. A lot of these look like international buses. But I'm going to tell you something. This new Globetrotter bus that they just released, this thing looks bad, man. 6-wheel drive. It's got military axles underneath of it. It's got beadlock rims and monster. I mean, any clue how big these tires are?
They're probably 46-inch tires, if I had to guess. It looks like you'd be driving a tugboat. Like, when you see that boat where the windshield leans out at the top, that's kind of what I see when I see the front of this thing. Like, it is a beast.
Oh, she's a beast, dude. I don't know how long this thing is, but it is a monstrosity. I think I can safely say that if you want to park this at your local Walmart, it's going to be the back of the lot.
Well, I'd like to see this thing go. I mean, I get it. It's 6-wheel drive, but I still would like to see this thing articulate through something.
Oh yeah.
Without
totally.
all the windows exploding.
There's something about looking at this that tells me instead of really articulating over things, you're more just going to be slowly creeping up on things like trees and bushes and then pushing them over.
See, I'm not sure because this is a bus conversion and like these Bluebird buses and stuff, they're specifically designed so that the body leaves the frame in an accident.
Mhm.
And now you've converted it into an off-road rig. How do you think that's going to work out?
Probably not, but I don't know.
I don't, maybe that's something they've taken into account in all the engineering of this, but my favorite part though, the grill.
Yeah, it's got this this custom globe in it that almost looks like it might even be floating.
I'm pretty sure it's like one of those, and this thing looks like it's probably, what do you say, 5 inches in diameter? That's pretty good size.
Oh yeah.
It looks like one of those ship's compasses that's like, magic 8-ball looking, where any direction it stays upright and pointed north, but it's a globe. That's what it looks like to me. I mean, I don't know that for sure, but it does look like as you turn, that compass is going to keep oriented north, and you'll keep seeing different parts of the globe as you, which direction it's parked.
One of my favorite photos here is with a full-sized Chevy pickup parked next to it.
Yeah.
There's just no comparison.
No, it's monstrous. You'd be the coolest guy at the Overland Rally for sure.
Well, yeah, because you're bringing a brewery along with you. It's got enough room to have a pot farm in it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you're making friends. You're cutting and pressing pills in this thing.
I said the Overland Rally, not Burning Man. And I'm assuming you have enough room for your video studio in the back for your on the road. How do we say fan pages?
Yes,
you know what I'm saying.
Yeah,
but yeah, no, this thing's amazing. I'd like to have one, but I'm guessing they're $500,000. Or more.
It's got to be easy. They don't have a price yet. Of course, it says if you want to know the price, call us.
That means I can't afford it.
Yeah. If you want to know the price, DM me. Whenever something is for sale on like Marketplace and it says DM for price, especially if it has one of two things, the price is $1 or the price is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Anytime somebody doesn't post the price, it makes me angry. Even back in the day in forums, it was like PM for price. And it's like, or you could just put it on the post.
Yeah.
And then we'd all know.
Yeah.
Like, why am I PMing you for a price? Is that a marketing thing where I'm more likely to buy it if I have to take the time to message them? Because I feel like there's a ton of times that maybe it was a good enough price for me to buy, but I just didn't want to take the time to message this guy. I don't know. Makes me angry just thinking about it right now.
Well, in the 240 groups, like the 240SX groups that I'm part of, which I don't even know why I'm in half of those groups. It's more just something to laugh at, to be honest.
Value.
Yeah, somebody recently posted an S13 240SX with an SR swap in it. Body's rough as fuck. Motor's blown, but other than that, it's in great shape. $6,500.
That's all, huh? Nice.
Yeah, that might be a situation where he should have said put PM for the price, because he'd have a ton of people being like, "Yeah, bro, what do you want? Like $1,200?" No, I want $7,000.
Did he get wrecked?
Oh yeah.
Okay. Good.
Yeah, he's been getting blown up.
Good. Get back here so we can bully you.
Here's the problem: is someone out there is probably going to pay for it.
Oh, absolutely.
That's the unfortunate part.
It's all going to be worth it.
Well, right, because eventually you're going to have this kid that you're talking to, and they're like, "Bro, I need it. I have to have it." Some flat build 17-year-old, and he's bound and determined, hell bent on having.
He
an
sold
S13.
his entire competition vape collection.
Oh, tell me it's not so. Hoy.
To afford one of those.
Oh my! What about all of his lacrosse sticks?
Are those worth money? Is that a thing?
I don't know. Maybe he signed them.
Oh, he signed them. They're signed by him.
These are actually the lacrosse sticks I use in my OnlyFans.
Ugh. Okay. on that note,
speaking of Coy wanting to commit suicide, we've got our new segment, Coy, and you came up with this, so tell us about it.
This segment is called Fabricated Suicide. And it's exactly what you think. We find the most amazing, insane things that have been fabricated on the web and are for sale. And we bring them to you and show them to you. And you hope you can die in one of these.
Yes.
Like, you're like, look, I don't want to kill myself. But if, it's that kind of thing where everybody's like, look, why don't people that want to kill themselves just start doing like X Games sports, just start wingsuiting. And
because that takes effort, but
statistically they'll die pretty quickly, you know, like that, except for I'm bringing this forward in an automotive thing. You're a car guy. you're ready to end it all, or you're thinking about it. You buy one of these products we throw up here, and statistically, it's bound to happen in a cool way. No one's really kind of disappointed in you for killing yourself. They're not like, wow, he didn't get to go to heaven. If you're Catholic. Anyways, you get this, and they're like, wow. We all told him he was going to kill himself on that thing, and he did.
In a spectacular way.
The paramedic said there was a solid grin on his face when he died.
Yeah, you're not going to be able to see this on the podcast, obviously, but they found him crumpled up in this thing, and they found his head 25 feet away from the accident with the biggest grin on his face. He was just
anyways, you found the first one for us, though. It's a
Coy, trust in my fabricated suicide, because angels cry when welders deserve to die. Look at this monstrosity. 1984 Chevrolet Chevette. It is from Ohio. Not a surprise. Let's go through
this. Costs a paltry $1,000.
Wait, it doesn't. This dude does exactly what we were just saying we love/hate. So let's get into the short but succinct description. This is a fairly well-modified little car, one-seater, titled, runs, drives, stops, certainly one of a kind. This is not the real price for the car. Would not let me put the real price. Okay, boomer. The price is $4,000. Now, exclamation, all caps. Serious inquiries only, please. Will not answer, still available. So this dude is real serious about wanting this thing gone, Coy. Obviously, right?
Now, I'm assuming this guy was an auto body guy, because this is a one-seater Chevette. The doors appear to be the back doors. So I'm guessing he cut 24 inches out of the middle of the car, long ways, and narrowed it, and then cut it off right at basically cut the front seat area out of it. So 36 inches, front seats completely out, and then welded that all together, made it seamless. So the back doors are now the coupe doors on this, so it's a two-door.
Yeah, but like you said, with the back doors, because look at how square
it's
the front
actually
of that door
a lot
is.
harder to explain this than I would thought. This is a narrowed and shortened car, and it is a Chevette that's just a tiny bit bigger than a quad.
This looks like a Hot Wheels. No, this looks like a Micro Machines that you bought from wish.com.
Yes. This looks like a
I just
the back
switched.
end actually looks like a little bit like a 8.6 coupe,
as it's viewed from what's the reverse fisheye lens?
Yeah.
Sorry, I just started laughing because I switched from the side view is so ridiculous. And again, you guys, as always, links to everything we're talking about here are posted underneath of the podcast in the description. We are calling this the Fabricated Suicide. So if you want to go and check that out now, and if you're watching along live, we already have the links posted underneath of the episode. So you can just click on that, follow along as you're listening to us.
Go through the pictures here. I got to see more.
So that is so ridiculous, Coy.
And does he say what motor is in this?
He doesn't. It's a slant 4, it looks like to me.
But is the motor in the trunk now? Is this a front wheel drive?
No, I think it's in the front.
So it's front wheel drive.
I don't think so. I think it's rear wheel drive.
I'm trying to. So is that? Okay, no, I see what's going on. Okay.
Oh, you're thinking that this is the radiator shroud.
Yeah.
No, that's the wheel well.
Oh, okay. All right.
The radiator shroud's up here.
All right, I got you. I'm twisting my head around trying to. Yeah. No, it does look like it's in the front. Slant 4. I'm guessing this thing weighs like 1,000 pounds though.
Oh yeah, if that.
And just imagine this dude had to cut that rear axle down to where the hubs are basically touching the diff.
And I love how grainy and horrible this photo is, because it's probably the ugliest feature on the car.
Yeah, the front end, not good. Everything about
there you go. That's how succinct it is.
Yeah.
Front end, Coy, what's your description?
Not good.
Not good.
Not good at all. $4,000 is an insane price for this. $1,000 actually, I kind of feel. I'm in it for $1,000 actually.
Now the interior shots, Coy.
It's very go-karty, 1 foot on each side of the transmission tunnel.
with the shifter in the middle,
with
so
the
it's like driving a
shifter.
lawnmower.
Yeah, I'm assuming this is an automatic. It appears, and you just.
I wonder if it includes the deck.
I like that he has like a dealer tag on the key.
Yeah.
Like, do you think it says like 1984 Chevette on the tag?
Oh Lord,
and,
please.
odometer and stuff.
Please let it.
Complete custom sheet metal dash, all red. The interior, like, I mean, the colors match and things. Like, it's kind of legit.
Yeah, it doesn't even look all that bad on the inside, but now that we're looking at it, it is clearly the back doors. You can clearly see it's
obviously
the back doors.
For $1,000, I'm in on this. Honestly, like, I would die in this for $1,000.
How much horsepower do you think this thing has?
I need
50, 60.
It's got to be a slant for 90, 80, 90.
Yeah,
I'm thinking. My only problem is how much does this weigh? I'm hoping it weighs 1,200 pounds, and then that 80, 90 horsepower actually rips it and gets it. Yeah, this would be fun. I'd gamble it for sure.
So if I had this, I would gamble it. I would have a hard time leaving it stock though, Coy. So I'm gonna go there. Are you ready for this? I think it needs a 13B swap.
In my opinion, I don't know what swap it needs to be, but it needs to rip wheelies like an MFer.
It might even rip wheelies as it is. I don't know.
If it rips wheelies as it is, I don't know that I'm going to do that much. Like, if I can rip big, mad, stinky, dangerous Bigfoot dick wheelies, there's no reason to change it. I'm going to maybe like wrap this thing and do wheels and tires,
Yeah.
I might put a parachute on it.
Jim Clacks in the comment, he says, "What a death trap." Yeah.
That's this whole segment. This is Fabricated Suicide as we want it, as we love it, as you guys will soon know it.
What an absolute monstrosity. Again, if you want to see the photos of this, it's under the Fabricated Suicide link in the description of the podcast. You really have to go out and see this
once
thing.
Again,
it's crazy.
If you guys have an idea for intro, outro music on this segment, let us know.
Yeah, because we got to come up with something. I don't know if I can. Well, we can't really like redub a song because they'll still ding us for that, but we'll come up with something.
Yeah. There may be an Andy Coy duet on this at some point. I'm not sure. It might happen.
Ooh, that's speaking of Fabricated Suicide. I'm going to want to kill myself after doing that. Coy, I think it's time for OLAF, buddy. You ready for this?
Yes, man.
Overland as fuck!
All right, what you got for us, my man?
This is my freaking dreams come true, bro. So I don't even know if I'm saying this right. Tamiya, yeah. Tamiya.
I have heard people say Tamiya, but they're wrong.
Okay, yeah. But they made some RC car dune buggy type things and still do, I believe.
Yes. This is one of their classic RC cars.
Old school. From when they were classics when I was a kid.
Right.
So I'm not even sure how old they are. They have made it into an adult-sized, full-size dune buggy.
What was this? An 8/9 scale?
8/10 scale, I think.
8/10 scale? Why wouldn't it just be a 4/5 scale then?
I really don't know. It's still electric. It has several modes. I think they said 40-kilometer range, so 20 miles. It looks like a full-on.
Oh yeah,
buggy,
you're right.
though.
8/10. That's weird. Okay. Yeah, it looks every bit like the RC car.
Yeah, and it looks like something you'd run in the Baja 1000 in 1986.
I'm just hoping, since it's all electric, it doesn't have the 3-step resistor speed controller like the old ones did. Do you remember those where it had a servo that would kind of run like across a resistor, and so there was like a low, medium, high?
Yeah.
Do you know how long RC cars used those? And then when the multi-speed resistor speed controls came around, so you actually had like full step speed control, but it literally was just a servo running across a resistor wire.
Yeah.
I remember how dangerous those were. I didn't have any when I was a kid because we were poor, but I remember a couple of neighbors having those where they would talk about, oh yeah, I've burned up the speed controller so many times because that they're trying to run it at low speed, which is the highest resistance in the speed controller. And so it would just get super, super hot and blow their batteries up.
I remember when cheaper RC cars started having proportional steering. So
Mm-hmm.
it wasn't just full lock, middle, straight or full lock where you could just turn a little bit.
Yeah.
And it was like, oh my God, I have so much control.
Yeah. You felt like you were fine-tuned controlling it.
Yeah, you felt like a fighter pilot.
But they still had the steering trim little thingy on the bottom, that little plastic nub that you'd have to click around.
Yep. To actually get it to drive straight.
And inevitably, for whatever reason, every time my parents would buy me one of those RC cars, I would have to flip it all the way in one direction or another. And then it still wouldn't quite track straight.
Yeah. Which I actually said this to somebody. I wonder if this has electric steering with proportion. So you're like, oh crap, I hit a rock. And you got to grab the knob and turn it so that it tracks straight again. And this also is supposed to have changeable battery packs. And you can actually store, from what it sounds like, you can get bigger battery packs for it to increase the range.
That is bad, bro.
Dude, can you imagine taking this thing out in your toy hauler? Some paddles, 5 or 6 batteries, and a solar setup, and just mashing on this thing all day.
All right, so it has a top speed of 48 kilometers an hour. Quick head math. What is that, like 27 miles an hour, 30 miles an hour?
40. I thought it was 40, actually 40 miles an hour. So that's a little slower than what I would like to see.
Mm-hmm. With a range of up to 40 kilometers, like you said.
So 22 miles or something like that.
Right. So this literally, what they've done here, Coy, is they've really brought the essence of the old RC cars back.
It's
not only is it
good
slow
enough to be fun.
Yeah, not only is it slow, but it has an extraordinarily short runtime.
Yes.
Because if they're advertising that it runs 40 kilometers, so 22-ish miles, 24 miles on a charge, that means it runs about 12 miles.
Oh, absolutely. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that being said, this is only like $4,000, 4,500.
Oh,
so
that's
it's not
pretty cheap.
Crazy expensive considering. And I mean, it's only $4,000, but I'm pretty sure you could probably fit a Razor motor in here or something. I want one of these. I'm never going to have one. It's super awesome, but it also makes me realize that within the next 10 years, there's going to be a kick-ass version of this that does 100 miles an hour or 80 miles an hour and has a 50-mile, 40-mile range with changeable batteries,
If you don't mind going back to, old style, world ending, oil and gas guzzling, blah, blah. I mean, dude, a 600cc, a 500cc twin cylinder motorcycle motor in the back of this.
We have Razor 1000 turbos now.
Right.
Those get wrecked. Those motors are available. I mean, this could be something next level with a street bike motor. I know a lot of the specs are meh. I mean, the shocks and springs on here look legit. They look like mid 90s Baja truck stuff. Like, so I'm guessing the suspension is amazing on this.
Oh, I bet it is. Yeah. It's sort of like having a Baja, not a Baja bug. What were those? Yeah, the buggy, the Manx buggy bodies. Yeah. It's sort of like having one of those, but with actual suspension.
Yeah. So either these are going to get actual petroleum swaps done, or we'll see more stuff happen to them. We got some comments up here. Let's go through some of these.
Oh, yeah. We've got Jay Fanning, who we were on his podcast. What's with the rear tire tread versus front? That is what I call them trying to keep it true to the RC car. Because, Coy, do you remember when they first came out with these? It was like it had the little ribs in the front and then the tire tread in the back, but it was supposed to be for sand. Like that was their whole thing. It was supposed to look like a sand buggy.
Yes, these were reminiscent of like a sand buggy or a Baja truck, and they were rear wheel drive, obviously. So, and these came out. I want to say these were mid 80s.
Oh yeah,
like they're old. This RC car, so there wasn't a lot of custom tire stuff. You had some kind of like street highway ribbed tire on the front and like ATV looking stuff on the rear.
Christopher Scott Nowlin kind of looks like the Flying Miata's open wheel version of the Atom. I agree with that.
Yeah,
it's a little bit like that.
I can see that.
The Exo set.
Yeah, it does definitely have that look.
And I will say something that popped up on my Facebook memories not too long ago, just a couple of days ago, was Flying Miata's Exo set. One of the first things they did with the Exo set, and it's not Flying Miata's, by the way, it's just Flying Miata's known for
building
good
the
Miata.
crap out of Miatas. Yeah.
Right. And the Exo set was meant for the Miata stuff to swap into it. But one of the first things they did is they put one of their LS3 kits in it, one of the supercharged LS3 kits. And so they made the world's highest horsepower Exoset right after the Exoset came out, 700 and some odd horsepower. And I need to go back and find the videos of it now, because the dudes that were working at Flying Miata, they had an open track day and they were taking video, stuff like that. But finally, they hit one of the engineers just right. And they were like, so you drove it. What do you think? And he's like, this thing's going to kill me.
They made that so quickly after the Exo set came out. The highest horsepower one was a stock Miata motor, probably,
right,
or turbo Miata motor.
Yeah, it was probably 300
and then they
horse.
just went to the supercharged LS3 or something.
They pulled a Dogecoin to the moon.
They literally went to the moon with it.
There has to be 1,000 horsepower Exoset out there at some point, right?
Oh, I'm sure.
Jim Clack says, talk about an 80s kid's wet dream. Yep.
Exactly. You missed Jay's next comment there, I think.
Oh, Jay's just letting us know that the Horsepower Hour podcast is going to be on the Hard Parking podcast tomorrow morning. So
yes,
people need to go and check that out.
We guested on Jay's Hard Park podcast.
Mm-hmm.
So please jump over there and get some of that.
And I really hope we weren't complete assholes.
You were, for sure.
Damn it.
I was a gentleman.
Well, we're on brand. I mean, that's just, that's all I can say. That's the long and the short of it.
I like the last comment. Jay says, you guys know everything. Thank you. I appreciate someone recognizing my genius.
Overland is fun. I had to cut you off there because we don't want to go down that road. We don't want to go down that road, Coy. I have a road that we do need to go down. You sent me a deal or a dube that
this is a good one. This is right what there. Deal or dube is for. This one right here.
It's right there, and we want you guys to take a look at it. So here it comes. Smokin Deal or Smokin a Doobie. So this week's Smokin Deal or Smokin a Doobie, Coy, you found it. Let me get it pulled up here. I'm into it. I dig it, and I think I want it. I think I might have to go and buy it. It's a 1996. It says Ford Focus, but obviously it's not a Focus.
I don't know why I changed. It was a Ford Mustang SVT was the last I read, as what I read it as.
I don't know if this is actually an SVT.
When I read it, that's what it said. Now it says Ford Focus for some reason.
Well, listen, the description's real long, so I am not going to read the whole thing, but here's the high points. The original engine was hydrolocked. The engine has been swapped. The odometer doesn't work, so they don't actually know what real miles are on the car. They estimate it to be 110-ish to 150-ish. Okay.
Yeah, somewhere in there.
Fair range. All right. With stock rear gearing and the modifications he had made, it ran a 13 Ford 104. That's not too terrible. And that was not no lift shifting. Thank you. I want to buy something that has a functional transmission. So good. Yeah. Glad that you didn't do that. That, of course, implies that this is a manual transmission. So another good thing.
Yes.
We're on the up and up. We're starting to add pluses.
Yeah, we're on the pros side of this.
We're on the pros side. That's right. It's got some goodies, some off-road goodies. It's got Steeda adjustable clutch. It's got Magna packs. Ooh, nice. Okay. It's got a basic Bama tune, so it will pass DEQ. I'm pressing X for doubt. It's got lots of stuff done. Underdriven pulleys, subframe connectors, hot coil packs, drag springs in the rear. So this was kind of set up for drag racing. It's got rolled fenders. It's got the Cobra wheels on it, so that's good. And actually, I like the paint color. It's that really, really dark gray, almost black on the black wheels. And it's got a little bit of light tinting. And so I really do dig the look. This is, again, an SN95 Mustang. So it's a 96. Not the most sought after, but they're starting to get a little bit more popular because people are realizing, hey, it basically shares the chassis with the Fox body. So even though they're ugly, they're cheap and all the same performance parts bolt into them.
They can be fast.
If you don't mind looking ugly, we can at least go fast, right?
Been that way my whole life. I mind it, but I deal with it.
Life at the speed of Coy, son. It's got a lot of really good stuff. Again, I mean, this description is so long.
On and on and on. I mean, He says everything.
Yeah, he really breaks it down, which I'm happy about. I mean, look, you want to break it down for me? Break it down for me. I don't mind that. There's no such thing as too much information when I'm trying to buy something unless it's a hooker. We've got fat Kumho drag slicks on the back of this thing. Here's a shot from the rear. So we've got adjustable shocks, Koi. We've got aftermarket springs, obviously.
Yep.
But everything looks pretty clean, I have to admit.
And if you go through the pictures, it appears that this thing got a full respray.
Mm-hmm.
So it's newish paint. And
oh, yeah. Here's a photo of it being prepped for paint. Yeah.
Yep. There's a full paint prep. I mean, all in all, this is a fairly well redone SVT Mustang.
Mm-hmm. SVTs in this particular year were not fast stock, by the way.
Not really.
I have a fun story, Koi. I worked with a kid at Baxter Auto Parts. I had my Turbo Festiva at the time, right? And so everybody wanted to race the Turbo Festiva. And we were trying to make something happen. But I mean, listen, it's young shitbag people working a trash can job, okay? So one of the dudes brought his sport bike, which was nothing special. It's 500cc sport bike of some kind. And we left about the same time because we'd closed. And of course, we hit a stoplight and we're in Portland in an undisclosed location, allegedly, hypothetically, in Portland, Mexico.
Yeah.
And we stop
Close
at a light
course.
and we're next to each other. And the light turns green and he has a terrible launch on the sport bike because he was a terrible driver. He was just this pudgy, fat, bald-headed nobody. But anyway, so I roll through first gear, I get into second gear, and then now things are happening. Now we're on, okay? And so I'm in second gear, spinning. He's on his little 500cc sport bike, and it's you know, and he's misshifting and stuff. But finally, we get up into third gear, and I grab fourth gear, and so we're now well over 100 miles an hour, and I am walking away from this tiny little sport bike, and I get home. And it's maybe, I don't know, 20 minutes later. And our other coworker that had worked that morning texts me and he goes, "Hey, did you race so-and-so sport bike?" And I said, "Well, yeah, kind of, sort of." And he forwarded me. This was before the time of screenshot. So he just sent me a quote. He goes, "This is what the manager just sent me. Fuck, that Festiva's fast." So now this dude that texted me that, who's got an SVT Mustang, 94, I want to say, it was a 5-liter SVT Mustang, and he had, you know, an H pipe and some different stuff, and it sounded good. Don't get me wrong, it sounded good. So we finally do the thing. We're finally able to have like an employees day at PIR to go and race. I show up with the Festiva. I don't even put the drag radials on. I'm just there to just kind of kick around and have fun. You know, I'm running like low 14s and 112 miles an hour. It's silly, stupid. I'm burning it through third gear, but we're having a good time, right? So he lines up and he's like, "Boy, you're going to learn now this thing. We're going to show you what's up." And he was jabbing at me. He's like, "Oh my God, 14s. What an absolute piece of hot donkey shit. That is unbelievably slow." And of course I'm going, well, 112 mile an hour trap speed. So, I mean, that must tell you something. No, bro. It's all about the numbers that you run. So finally he pulls up to do his thing. And man, I've never seen anyone so cocky when they have never done a thing in their life, you know?
Yeah.
He runs a 15.2 at 80 something miles an hour, pulls in back into the pits and goes, "Oh yeah, she's broken. I don't know." And we were just like, "Nah, man, that's what your shit runs."
That's how fast you are.
Yeah. Welcome to the early 90s Mustangs. And, he was so angry, but I have to admit something. I never had hard feelings against that guy. He was a douchebag, but you know, whatever.
Yeah, many people are.
He ended up turboing that Mustang and continuing to build it, changed the motor out, ran a 351 in it, and got it down into like a 12-second quarter-mile car. So he kept at it. He kept at it. But I was happy to hand him that slice of humble pie that night.
Here's your crow. Now died. Enjoy your feast.
That's of course not what would happen with this car, because this car looks like it has some serious performance, and that's why I'm impressed by this. It actually has some performance and some ability. And again, it's, what was it, $3,800?
$3,800 is the price on this. Now, guys, 1997, unknown actual mileage. 1996 Ford SVT Mustang. with some mods and fresh paint. $3,800 is what he's asking.
I don't know that it's worth 3,800, but I could see giving him $3,200 for this.
If it said 110,000 for sure, that's what's on the odometer. What do you say then? Now this comes with some spare parts. He has a different rear end with a lower gear set, I believe. Like he has some extra goodies that he's thrown in as well.
It's got some goodies, dude. It might actually be worth the 38 straight up.
I don't know, man. If you're wanting something quick and you don't have a lot of money, dude, tax returns, whatever.
Yeah.
This is a foot in the door that's, I mean, I don't know if you can beat it.
Yeah.
I mean,
if you want to go a little bit of nitrous, maybe, if you want to go maybe thoughts towards a supercharger in the future or turbocharger.
Honestly, you just want to get into drifting.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know, $3,800.
Yeah. And it's already making some power. It's already running mid-13s. That's quick by anybody's standards.
Yeah. So,
I mean, maybe not by a brand new Maxima standards, but still.
Not as fast as a new Ford Taurus, but still. But still, $3,800 for this.
It roughly runs the same quarter mile as my full-size pickup.
Yeah, exactly. As a new Ford Bronco. But still, you got, you know, he was a good man in his day, you know. Maybe he did own slaves, but it was 1796. You know what I mean? Like,
maybe he wasn't there for you growing up, but that's because he was on a boat.
Yeah, he was in his time. Yeah, he was a good man.
He was in Thailand fucking horse. Yeah. It's just, you know,
that's what everybody did then. So that being said, when in Rome, it's okay to go to the bathhouse. But still, this car, like $3,800. I don't see how you can go wrong at $3,800, and that's his asking price. He has to.
That's just the asking price.
He has to wiggle some. Like you're gonna get this for 32 or 34 for sure.
Yeah.
Like if I'm asking 38, I'm expecting to get 34 for this.
Yeah.
Right.
And
if it's been a few days and this guy needs it to move, maybe we're gonna get him down close to 3.
And
go ahead.
Jim Clack thinks he's being funny. There is no new Ford Taurus. We're talking about the old new Ford Taurus. Don't be cute. Don't be smart. No, you're 100% right. You're 100% right. Realistically, this person is going to take a little bit less for this. Even if it was $3,500, it can be a dupe. It easily can be a dupe by something that is unseen. But if everything is as shown,
as I read, I don't see how you could go wrong.
Yeah, it has to be a deal. I
haven't said deal in a long time, but just kind of as is, even at $3,800, I'm gonna go deal on this. I have to.
Yeah, I'm 100% with you. Of course, if you guys disagree with us, please do let us know in the comments. If you have other thoughts about these Mustangs, if you can give us some insights into these Mustangs,
thank you,
we
Jim.
Don't know.
I'm glad somebody agrees already.
There you go, Jim. And you know what? Jim's kind of a Mustang guy. He's more into the classic Mustangs, but he knows his stangs. Stangs and Thangs. That's actually his OnlyFans. It's onlyfans.com/stangs and Thangs.
Thanks and thanks.
Yeah.
It's good for the stang.
It's good for the wang. It's good for the stang. So we already have somebody saying deal for sure. And I think that's going to be the trend that continues. But again, if you feel otherwise, please feel free to post that in the comments because we will never turn down an opportunity to make fun of you.
Smokin Deal or Smokin Adobe.
Well, Coy, I think that's just about it for us tonight, man. Did you have anything else that you wanted to cover or comment?
No, I think I'm good for tonight.
You still are doing your comment little challenge.
Yes. So far, I have yet to see someone leave a review on iTunes. I didn't check today, but thanks, guys. I want a couple reviews, so it'd be nice if everyone who hears the sound of my voice that you're getting for free, just free entertainment.
You've never brought that up before.
I drive like every weekend. I drive 45 minutes to a studio.
Yeah,
that Andy built with his own money.
My own two hands.
His own two hands, his sweat, blood, money, all that. To bring you medium to fair entertainment, live and recorded.
Fair to Midland.
For free 50 free. And in return, I ask one thing. Nay, I say one thing. Could you guys please leave a review on iTunes, on the Facebook page, or whatever modality you're listening to this? Leave a comment on the YouTube page, whatever. And I'm not asking for a good review. I'm asking for an honest one.
Yeah.
Okay. Just throw it in there.
Yeah. And like we've said before, I mean, if you give us a 1-star review, I don't even take that seriously. What really cuts me down is those dudes where they give me a 2.5-star rating and they're like, yeah, I wanted to like it. They're interesting-ish, but man, there's something missing.
It was funny at first. That's what cuts me.
Yeah.
That's what cuts me. They used to be funny.
They used to be.
Yeah. That's the hurt. Now we're going to get 4,000 of those.
Would you be mad though?
No,
because it means somebody's listening.
Well, I deserve it. I deserve it if I said it after I asked for a review.
And hey, if you're out there reviewing the podcast, please do feel free to subscribe. If you want to leave us a review on Facebook, it's facebook.com/The Horsepower Hour. Leave us a review there. We sure do appreciate that. Those count. The group, of course, is the Horsepower Hour Podcast. You can find that in the groups on Facebook. Instagram is at The Horsepower Hour. That's where you're going to be able to find Coy. That's where you can send any messages if you want to converse with Coy or myself. Actually, I gained a subscriber this week, Coy.
Did you?
I did. I went and saw my foot surgeon because I had to get my stitches out. And he had to tell me all about how screwed up my foot was and how he's never seen anything like it. Like 2% of people have the particular issue that I have. So he was like, congrats, good job. Try to be less of an asshole in your future life, you know.
Reverse Powerball, yeah.
Yeah, but for whatever reason, I just kind of got a vibe off of him and I said, "Hey man, are you a car guy?" And he was like, "Absolutely." He's got a thing for BMWs. He likes Euro trash cars. I'm not going to hold that against him. It's fine, you know. He's got a BMW 5 Series wagon. It's got some mods to it. It's wrapped black. Like, it looks pretty tasty, okay? Mm-hmm. And I said, "Well, actually, I have a podcast called The Horsepower Hour." He pulls his phone out right there while I'm getting stitches taken out of my foot. And he, "Oh, is this you?" And turns it around. The Horsepower Hour. Hits subscribe. And he's like, "I love listening to the podcast. You're going to be in my regular rotation now."
Thanks, Andy.
Well, don't thank me. Thank him.
Listen and subscribe, okay? Share it with your friends. And apparently your fucking surgeon.
9 out of 10 foot surgeons agree. This is the podcast to listen to.
Anyways, and also on the Facebook page, if you want to share a fabricated suicide that you saw, a Duber deal.
We've already had a couple just this week of fabricated suicide and dealer dube.
We don't use them all. In fact, we don't use most of them, but occasionally we do. And we like to see them. And so do the other posters, commenters, and Horsepower Hour Nights. Is that what we're calling them?
Nights? Horsepower Hour Nights? You just pulled that one out of your ass. I don't mind it.
Yeah.
I mean, we can give it a try. Or maybe not. I don't know. We'll see. Listen, Coy, it's been a really good episode. Thank you for being here, my friend. All you guys out there, thank you for joining the program. We really do appreciate it, and we are happy to do it. And we love you all. So please do feel free to come and join us in the Horsepower Hour Facebook group. And for Coy Forticus, F. Coy Forticus and Masterson Jr. Senior Esquire, Duke of Earl Grey, this is Andy, and we will see you next time.